$22 billion in SpaceX contracts just got threatened by Trump. And Elon's response? He's threatening to kill Dragon. But here's what nobody's talking about. Starship keeps exploding because of one simple problem. It's underpowered. The rocket is 20 times heavier than Falcon 9, but uses the same 6 engines. Flight 7, flash ignition. Flight 8, engine failure. Flight 9, fuel leaks everywhere. SpaceX is literally pushing these engines to breaking point just to reach orbit. The Raptor 3 engine is their last hope. 280 tons of thrust, lighter design, and they're betting everything on it. But will it work? Let's dive right in. The truth behind those explosions? It's worse than anyone imagined. Flight 9 was supposed to be SpaceX's victory moment. Payload bay opens, satellites deploy, mission success. Instead, the doors stayed shut, locked tight. Those dummy satellites became expensive prisoners in their own metal cage. But this wasn't just a door malfunction. This was the moment SpaceX's biggest lie finally caught up with them. The impossible physics problem. Opening a door sounds simple, right? Walk to your front door right now. Turn the handle. Easy. Now do that same thing. While spinning out of control. In the vacuum of space, with zero gravity, and doors that weigh several tons each, suddenly not so simple. Most spacecraft have internal pressure helping them. The air inside pushes against the door, creating a tight seal. But Starship's payload bay, completely unpressurized, no help from physics. Just raw mechanical force fighting against the most hostile environment in the universe. And when things started going wrong, they went wrong fast. The nightmare begins. Here's what SpaceX didn't want you to see from Flight 9. The moment those engines shut down, the ship started tumbling, spinning wildly through space like a broken toy. Why? Fuel leaks. Starship's attitude control system works like this. Pressurized gas sits above the liquid fuel in the tanks. That gas powers tiny thrusters that keep the ship stable. But when the gas leaks out, those thrusters die. Picture driving down a mountain road, and your steering wheel just falls off. That's Starship in space. The spinning created forces nobody planned for. The door mechanism, designed for calm conditions, suddenly faced rotational stress it was never built to handle. Leaked fluids contaminated the payload bay. Every system began failing at once. But why is this happening to every single flight? The answer will shock you. The $20 billion lie. Every rocket engineer knows the golden rule of spaceflight. Thrust-to-weight ratio determines everything. If your rocket weighs twice as much, you need twice the thrust. Basic physics. Starship's upper stage weighs 20 times more than Falcon 9's upper stage, so logically, it needs 20 times the thrust to perform the same way. Here's the problem. 6 Raptor engines on Starship produce only 18 times the thrust of Falcon 9's single engine. The math doesn't work. Starship is fundamentally underpowered for its massive weight. This forces SpaceX into a deadly game. Push engines beyond safe limits. Cut weight everywhere possible. Hope nothing breaks. It's like trying to power a freight train with a motorcycle engine. And the consequences? 3 consecutive failures. Flight 7, the warning shot. January 2025. Starship Flight 7 carried its first real payload, 20 tons of dummy satellites. Just 13% of Starship's promised capacity. That tiny payload triggered catastrophic failure. A flash ignition erupted near the Raptor vacuum engines. Uncontrolled fuel combustion in the attic section between the oxygen tank and heat shield. Sensors detected massive pressure spikes. The ship was literally ripping itself apart from the inside. SpaceX called it an anomaly, but engineers knew better. This was the first crack in their facade. Flight 8. The pattern emerges. SpaceX learned nothing. Flight 8 launched with reduced payload, 4 satellites instead of 10, hoping lighter weight would save them. It didn't. Hardware failure struck the center Raptor engine, either fuel leaks or catastrophic overheating, both symptoms of engines running far beyond their design limits. 2 flights, 2 failures. Same cause, underpowered engines pushed to breaking point. But SpaceX kept the pattern hidden until Flight 9 exposed everything. The Pez dispenser deception. SpaceX markets their satellite system as the Pez dispenser. Cute name for a fundamental design flaw. Traditional rockets use clamshell fairings, massive doors that swing wide open, multiple backup systems, manual overrides, redundancy everywhere. Starship uses a single sliding door on the side. One door, one mechanism, one point of failure. When that door jams, everything stops. No backup, no alternatives. Just expensive satellites trapped forever. And here's the cruel irony. The door doesn't even support the structure. Reinforcement plates around the opening carry all the loads. The door itself could be removed entirely, if only it would open. The Raptor 3 Hail Mary. Enter SpaceX's desperate solution, Raptor 3. 280 tons of thrust versus Raptor 2's 230 tons. A 21% power increase that could finally give Starship the muscle it desperately needs. But here's where it gets crazy. Raptor 3 delivers more power while weighing less. 1,525 kilograms compared to Raptor 2's 1,630 kilograms. How is this possible? The answer involves the most controversial decision in rocket history. The no heat shield gamble. Raptor 3 engines will operate without base heat shields. Let that sink in. These engines work in plasma hot enough to melt steel, and SpaceX is removing their protection. Every engineer's first reaction, that's insane. But Elon's explanation reveals twisted genius. Heat shields create enclosed spaces where leaked fuel accumulates. The result? Catastrophic explosions like we've seen repeatedly. Without heat shields, leaked fuel burns off immediately in the surrounding plasma. The engine becomes self-cleaning. No deadly accumulation, no explosions. It's counterintuitive engineering that could save the entire program, or destroy it completely. The stainless steel trap. Even Raptor 3 can't solve Starship's fundamental weight crisis. The decision to build everything from stainless steel seemed brilliant during testing. Durable, cheap, crash-resistant. But now that weight is killing performance. Carbon fiber would cut mass dramatically, but SpaceX committed to steel for manufacturing speed. They're trapped between production goals and physics always wins. The hot staging breakthrough. SpaceX found one elegant solution hiding in plain sight. By blocking specific vents in the hot staging ring, they created asymmetric thrust during booster separation. This simple modification helps the booster flip more efficiently, saves precious fuel, increases payload capacity. It's the kind of brilliant engineering that makes you wonder, why didn't anyone think of this decades ago? But this innovation has an expiration date. The current system uses expendable staging rings. SpaceX's long-term plan requires reusable components. More complexity, more failure points. Block 3, revolution or disaster. The next generation Starship promises to solve everything. New hot staging design, Raptor 3 engines throughout, improved structural efficiency. On paper, it's perfect. But space doesn't care about paper. The vacuum of space has destroyed every perfect design ever created. Will Block 3 finally deliver on Starship's promises, or will new problems emerge from these radical changes? The stakes couldn't be higher. The political time bomb. Which brings us back to that explosive Trump-Musk confrontation. When the sitting president threatens to cancel $22 billion in contracts, and you respond by threatening to strand astronauts on the International Space Station, you've crossed into dangerous territory. Dragon spacecraft represents America's only access to the ISS. Canceling it would be national suicide. But Elon's threat reveals how desperate SpaceX has become. The company that promised to revolutionize space travel is now holding NASA hostage to protect their failing rocket. The Mars mission mirage. Every Starship failure pushes Mars further away. The rocket designed to carry 100 tons to the Red Planet can barely manage 20 tons to low Earth orbit. Artemis moon missions depend on Starship's success. Deep space exploration hangs in the balance. America's space dominance teeters on the edge. 3 explosions revealed the truth SpaceX desperately wanted to hide. Their revolutionary rocket is fundamentally flawed, underpowered, overweight, unreliable. Raptor 3 represents their last hope. Revolutionary engine design, meeting impossible physics requirements. The question isn't whether SpaceX can build better engines. It's whether they can build them fast enough before the money runs out, before the government loses patience, before their competitors catch up. Because in space, there are no second chances. We landed on the moon in 1969. Today, we can't even get back. Here's what just happened. NASA's budget got slashed by 25%. America's entire moon program, canceled. The rockets, spacecraft, everything, gone. Meanwhile, China just announced they're putting astronauts on the moon by 2030. They're building a permanent base while we're shutting down. So what went wrong? How did America go from moon conquerors to this? Elon Musk has the answer, and it's not what you think. Let's dive right in. The political war that killed our moon dreams. May 25th, 1961. President Kennedy walks into Congress and drops the most expensive bombshell in human history. We're landing on the moon before this decade ends. But here's what they never told you about that moment. Kennedy wasn't dreaming about space exploration. He was absolutely terrified. The Soviet Union had just crushed America's ego. First satellite, theirs. First man in space, theirs. First everything that mattered. America was losing the ultimate technology war, and Kennedy knew the world was watching. So he made a bet that would make Vegas gamblers blush. $24 billion. That's $200 billion in today's money. More than the entire economy of most countries. All for one mission. Beat the Russians to the moon. And you know what? It worked. Apollo 11 touches down in 1969. Armstrong plants the flag. America wins. Mission accomplished. Then something happened that changed everything. The money just disappeared. Wait, how does the richest nation on Earth just quit? The moment America betrayed its own success, July 20th, 1969. The whole world is watching Neil Armstrong take that first step. Humanity's greatest achievement, the impossible made real. But back on Earth, politicians are already sharpening their knives. Why are we still spending billions on moon rocks? The Cold War pressure was gone. We'd proven our point. Vietnam was bleeding cash. Civil riots were tearing cities apart. And suddenly, those moon missions looked like the world's most expensive publicity stunt. By 1972, the last Apollo mission was already planned. The Saturn V rocket, the most powerful machine humanity had ever built, was being turned into museum pieces. The production lines shut down forever. Here's the part that'll make your blood boil. We didn't lose the ability to go to the moon. We deliberately threw it away. But why? Why would America destroy its own superpower? Because politicians saw something terrifying in those budget reports. The shuttle trap that destroyed everything. 1981. Space shuttle launches for the first time. NASA promises this changes everything. Cheaper, reusable, routine access to space. The future is here. Except, every single promise was a lie. The shuttle cost $1.7 billion per launch. That's not cheaper. That's financial insanity. Instead of pushing deeper into space, America became a glorified taxi service. 30 years of playing delivery boy to satellites. But the real tragedy, February 1st, 2003, Columbia breaks apart during re-entry. 7 astronauts die in front of the world. And suddenly, everyone's asking the same question Kennedy's critics asked decades earlier. Is this worth human lives? President Bush tries to save America's space dreams. 2004. We're going back to the moon by 2020. The Constellation program is born. New rockets, new spacecraft. Apollo on steroids. But there's one massive problem nobody talks about. The shuttle program refuses to die. It keeps devouring money like a black hole. Constellation never gets the funding it desperately needs. 2010. Obama looks at the numbers and cancels everything. Billions wasted, years lost. America's moon dreams, dead. Again. But this time, something different was happening in the shadows. The Artemis gamble. Why it's already failing. Enter Donald Trump. 2019. We're going back to the moon by 2024. Make America great again. In space. Artemis is born, named after Apollo's sister. Beautiful symbolism, right? Biden keeps it alive. For the first time in 50 years, both parties agree on something. We're going back. But here's where the story gets really disturbing. Artemis was supposed to cost $35 billion. Current estimate, over $93 billion. The timeline, pushed from 2024 to 2026, then 2027, now maybe 2028. And that's before Trump's 2025 budget massacre. 25% cut to NASA. The Gateway Space Station, canceled. The new moon suits, canceled. The Lunar lander contract, under complete review. Sound familiar? It's the exact same pattern that's been killing America's space dreams for 50 years. Big promises, massive spending, then political reality hits like a freight train. But while America keeps hitting the reset button, something else has been happening. Something that should absolutely terrify every American watching this. China's master plan, the threat nobody saw coming. March 2024. While America's politicians debate budgets and timelines, China quietly achieves something that changes everything. Their Kiao-2 satellite slips into lunar orbit. Perfect execution. Zero fanfare. You want to know what that really means? China now controls all communications to the moon's far side. But that's just the beginning of their master plan. Chang'e 6, 2024. First samples from the moon's far side. Already launched. Already successful. While America argued about funding, Chang'e 7, 2026, South Pole mission. They're hunting for water ice, the holy grail for permanent lunar colonies. Chang'e 8, 2028, testing lunar resource extraction, building the foundation for permanent settlement. First Chinese astronauts on the moon before 2030. Not maybe, definitely. International Lunar Research Station, 2030s. Led by China, partners include Russia, Pakistan, Belarus, South Africa. Notice something missing from that list? America? While we've been canceling programs for 50 years, China has been executing a plan that spans decades. They think in generations. We think in election cycles. But here's the part that'll blow your mind. The real reason America can't win. Every 4 years, America gets a new president, new priorities, new vision, brand new space program. Bush, Mars by 2030. Obama, let's visit asteroids. Trump, moon by 2024. Biden, moon by 2026. Trump again, focus on Mars/moon funding. China doesn't have this problem. Xi Jinping isn't worried about the next election. He's planning for the next century. Their government plans in 5-year cycles that actually stick. No opposition party fighting every decision. No media circus questioning every dollar spent. America's space program changes direction more often than a drunk driver on black ice. But there's something even more sinister happening behind the scenes. The secret spending war nobody talks about. Here's what the headlines tell you. China's space budget, $8.9 billion per year. NASA's budget, $25 billion per year. So America's winning the money game, right? Dead wrong. Here's the dirty secret they don't want you to know. China's space program isn't run by scientists. It's run by the military, the same military with a $250 billion annual budget. The same military building the world's largest navy. When China builds a rocket, is it for space exploration or missile defense? When they test satellite communications, is it for science or warfare? Nobody knows, because in China there is no difference. America separates civilian NASA from military Space Force. China sees space as one giant battlefield, and they're treating it like they're already at war. The point of no return. Right now, as you're watching this video, China is probably conducting another lunar mission. Their rovers are analyzing moon rocks. Their satellites are mapping every resource. Their engineers are designing permanent bases. While America argues about budgets and timelines, China is building the infrastructure to own the moon. Water on the moon? China will control it first. Helium-3 for fusion energy? China will mine it first. Lunar manufacturing? China will dominate it first. The moon isn't just a destination anymore. It's the ultimate high ground for the next century of human civilization. In America, we're still stuck in budget committee meetings. But here's the question that should be keeping every American awake at night. What happens when China plants their flag permanently on the moon and America is still arguing about whether we can afford the trip? The race isn't starting, it's almost over, and we're not even on the track. This is exactly what Elon Musk has been desperately trying to warn us about. America's broken system that kills every dream before it can take flight. The clock is ticking, the window is closing. And China? They're already planning the victory celebration. So here's what we learned today. America had the moon and threw it away. 50 years of political games while China played the long game. Elon Musk was right. Our system is broken. We dream big, spend billions, then hit reset every 4 years. But here's the deeper question nobody's asking. What if this isn't just about the moon? What if this is about everything America used to dominate? Technology, manufacturing, innovation? China's patient, they plan in decades. We plan in election cycles. The moon race is just the beginning. The real battle is for the future of human civilization itself. And right now, we're losing. But what do you think? Is America's political system killing our space dreams? Or is there something else going on? Drop your thoughts below. And if this opened your eyes to what's really happening in space, there's a lot more coming. Because the space race isn't just about rockets and flags anymore. It's about who controls the next chapter of human history. Subscribe to Space Core if you want the real story behind the headlines. The universe is waiting. The question is, who's going to claim it first?